What happens when a lone human soldier crash lands on an alien planet torn apart by civil war? Outnumbered and outgunned, Lieutenant Ryan Cross faces an impossible choice until he does something no one saw coming. Lieutenant Ryan Cross never imagined his reconnaissance mission would lead him here, crashing onto the alien world of Xandalis after his ship was sabotaged mid-flight. As his pod breached the atmosphere, shards of fire illuminated the alien landscape below, revealing towering spires and vast crystalline forests glowing faintly under twin moons. His HUD flickered to life, displaying critical warnings about environmental hazards, yet it was the distant rumble of explosions that froze him. Crawling from the wreckage, Ryan scanned the horizon, spotting flashes of energy weapons cutting through the night sky. He wasn't alone. This planet was at war. Ryan moved cautiously toward the nearest settlement, his boots crunching against jagged terrain. What he found there shattered everything he thought he knew about extraterrestrial life. Two factions, a regal caste led by Princess Sevenar Atal and a brutal militaristic force commanded by General Kaelnor, were locked in a deadly struggle for control of Xandalis. Caught between them, Ryan realized escape wasn't an option, but survival, that depended entirely on whose trust he could earn. We only scratched the surface of what Ryan's journey holds. Trust me, you don't want to miss what happens when these two worlds collide even harder. Stay tuned. Princess Sevenar Atal stood atop a dais surrounded by her loyal warriors, her luminous violet skin radiating authority. Her voice carried like a melody, commanding respect without raising its tone. When she noticed Ryan, a battered human intruder, her piercing gaze seemed to pierce straight through him. Yet instead of executing him on sight, she ordered her guards to stand down. "You are either incredibly brave or incredibly foolish," she said, her words laced with curiosity. Sevenar Atal explained the stakes. Her people, the Xandarii, had long lived peacefully until General Kaelnor's coup threatened to destroy centuries of progress. She believed Ryan might hold answers or at least provide leverage, but she made it clear his presence came with risks. For Ryan, every moment spent in her company revealed layers of complexity. Was she truly the savior she claimed to be, or just another pawn in a larger game? As Ryan weighed his options, an ambush forced their convoy into retreat. Explosions tore through the air, scattering debris and bodies alike. In the chaos, Ryan saved Sevenar Atal from certain death, earning her reluctant gratitude. It was then he realized, choosing sides meant more than picking allies, it meant deciding who deserved redemption. This alliance is fragile, and the tension is rising. You won't believe what happens next when loyalty gets tested beyond limits. Keep watching. The convoy limped toward Sanctuary Ridge, a hidden stronghold deep within Xandalis's dense crystal forests. With each step, Ryan grew more aware of the fractures within Sevenar Atal's ranks. Whispers of dissent rippled through her soldiers, some questioning whether allying with a human was worth the risk. Meanwhile, General Kaelnor's forces closed in, their relentless pursuit marked by scorched earth tactics that left devastation in their wake. One evening, while camped beneath the glow of bioluminescent trees, Ryan overheard a heated argument between Sevenar Atal and her closest advisor, Commander Thalric. Thalric accused her of jeopardizing their cause by trusting an outsider. "He is not one of us," Thalric spat, his tail lashing in anger. Sevenar Atal silenced him with a single glare, though doubt lingered in her eyes. Later, when Ryan confronted her privately, she admitted the truth. Her position was precarious, and her leadership teetered on the edge of collapse. That night, betrayal struck. A mole within their ranks leaked their location to Kaelnor's forces, triggering a brutal assault. Outnumbered and outgunned, Ryan fought alongside Sevenar Atal's troops, his instincts honed by years of combat. Despite their losses, they managed to repel the attack, but not before discovering evidence implicating someone close to Sevenar Atal herself. The revelation shook her to her core, forcing her to question everyone she trusted, including Ryan. In the aftermath of the ambush, paranoia gripped the remnants of Seven Aratal's forces. Accusations flew like shrapnel, tearing apart what little unity remained. Ryan, still reeling from the betrayal, found himself increasingly isolated. Some viewed him as a liability, while others saw him as a potential spy. Only Seven Aratal maintained faith in him, though her confidence wavered with each passing day. Their journey took them through the Ashen Wastes, a desolate expanse littered with the ruins of ancient Zandarii civilization. Here, amidst crumbling temples and forgotten relics, Ryan uncovered fragments of the planet's history. Tales of prosperity turned to ruin, of unity fractured by greed. These stories resonated deeply with him, reminding him of humanity's own struggles. Yet they also hinted at a darker truth. The seeds of destruction often lay buried within those who sought power. When they reached the Temple of Echoes, a sacred site said to house artifacts capable of turning the tide of war, disaster struck again. An artifact known as the Heart of Zandalis activated unexpectedly, flooding the chamber with blinding light. When the glow subsided, Ryan discovered strange symbols etched into his skin, marks identical to those adorning Seven Aratal's body. The implications were staggering. Somehow, the artifact had bound their fates together, making him an integral part of Zandalis's future. Word of the artifact's activation spread quickly, drawing unwanted attention from both friend and foe. General Kael'Nor dispatched elite hunters to retrieve the Heart of Zandalis, viewing it as the key to ultimate victory. Meanwhile, dissent within Seven Aratal's ranks reached a boiling point, culminating in an attempted mutiny led by Commander Thalric. Faced with insurrection, Seven Aratal acted decisively, quelling the uprising with a combination of diplomacy and force. Yet the damage was done. Her authority weakened, her followers divided. Amidst the turmoil, Ryan grappled with his newfound connection to the artifact. Vivid dreams plagued his sleep, visions of Zandalis's past and glimpses of possible futures. In one such vision, he saw himself standing beside Seven Aratal atop a mountain of broken swords, heralding a new era of peace or tyranny. The ambiguity haunted him, fueling his determination to understand the artifact's true purpose. A desperate gamble brought them to the skyward expanse, a floating city suspended above a sea of clouds. Here, they hoped to forge alliances with neutral factions wary of taking sides. Negotiations proved treacherous, with rival emissaries vying for influence. Just as hope began to emerge, betrayal struck once more, this time from an unexpected source. Someone Ryan trusted implicitly turned against him, leaving him stranded and hunted across the city's labyrinthine streets. "We're hurtling toward a climax that will leave you breathless. Don't look away. You won't believe what happens next." Stranded in the skyward expanse, Ryan navigated its perilous alleys, pursued by bounty hunters eager to claim the bounty placed on his head. Each corner he turned revealed new dangers. Plasma rifles humming ominously, shadowy figures darting between buildings, and drones scanning for any sign of movement. Yet despite the odds, Ryan's resourcefulness kept him alive, allowing him to evade capture long enough to uncover crucial intelligence. Through a network of informants, he learned of Kael'Nor's endgame, using the Heart of Zandalis to awaken an ancient weapon buried beneath the planet's surface. If successful, the general would unleash devastation unparalleled in scale, wiping out all opposition, including innocent civilians caught in the crossfire. Armed with this knowledge, Ryan raced to reunite with Seven Aratal, knowing time was running out. Their reunion was fraught with tension. Seven Aratal questioned his motives, unsure whether his actions stemmed from genuine concern or self-preservation. Ryan countered her doubts with raw honesty, laying bare his fears and hopes for Zandalis's future. Slowly, trust began to rebuild, but old wounds ran deep, threatening to unravel their fragile partnership. Together, they devised a daring plan to infiltrate Kael'Nor's stronghold, located in the heart of the Obsidian Spire. Along the way, they encountered unexpected allies. rogue mercenaries disillusioned with Kael'Nor's tyranny, former prisoners seeking revenge, and even remnants of Seven Aratal's disbanded army. United by a common goal, they formed an uneasy coalition, pledging to stop the general at any cost. The journey to the Obsidian Spire tested their resolve like never before. Harsh winds whipped across jagged cliffs, forcing them to cling to narrow ledges as they ascended toward the fortress looming overhead. Inside, darkness swallowed them whole, broken only by pulsating veins of glowing or embedded in the walls. Every sound echoed unnaturally, amplifying their footsteps and quickening their heartbeats. As they delved deeper, Ryan and Seven Aratal faced trials designed to break their spirits. Hallucinations tormented them, conjuring memories of past failures and loved ones lost. At one point, Ryan found himself reliving the crash that brought him to Zandalis, his mind replaying the moment his crew perished. Seven Aratal, too, confronted her greatest fear, the possibility that her quest for justice had blinded her to the suffering of her people. Despite these mental assaults, they pressed onward, driven by sheer willpower. Their bond strengthened with each challenge overcome, transforming from reluctant partners into steadfast comrades. By the time they reached the inner sanctum, they stood ready to face whatever awaited them, even if it meant confronting their darkest selves. Within the inner sanctum, they discovered a horrifying truth. Kael'Nor had already begun activating the ancient weapon. Massive conduits pulsed with energy, feeding power into a monstrous machine suspended above a chasm. Below, countless captives labored tirelessly, their bodies connected to the device via neural interfaces. The sight sickened Ryan, igniting a rage he struggled to contain. Before they could act, Kael'Nor appeared, flanked by heavily armed guards. He mocked their efforts, dismissing them as futile gestures against inevitability. "You cannot stop evolution," he declared, gesturing to the weapon. "Only embrace it or perish." His arrogance infuriated Ryan, but Seven Aratal remained calm, her expression unreadable. A fierce battle erupted, pitting their ragtag group against Kael'Nor's elite forces. Laser blasts lit up the cavern, ricocheting off metallic surfaces and sending sparks flying. Amidst the chaos, Ryan spotted an opportunity. Disabling the central conduit would destabilize the weapon, buying them precious time. Risking everything, he charged forward, dodging enemy fire and leaping across precarious platforms. Just as he reached the conduit, doubt crept in. Could he really sacrifice himself for a cause not his own? Would Seven Aratal honor his sacrifice, or abandon him like so many others had? The questions swirled in his mind, paralyzing him momentarily. Then, a voice cut through the noise. Seven Aratal's steady assurance, urging him to trust in their shared purpose. Empowered, Ryan planted the explosive charge and detonated it, collapsing part of the structure and halting the activation process. Though the immediate threat was neutralized, the cost weighed heavily on everyone involved. Dozens of allies lay injured or dead, their sacrifices etched into Ryan's memory. Guilt gnawed at him, compounded by the realization that Kael'Nor remained at large, regrouping for another assault. Worse still, cracks began forming in their coalition, with survivors questioning whether continuing the fight was worth further bloodshed. Seven Aratal bore the brunt of this discontent, her leadership called into question by those who doubted her ability to lead them to victory. Private meetings turned contentious, with advisors urging her to negotiate peace, even if it meant surrendering to Kael'Nor. Ryan watched silently, torn between respecting her autonomy and voicing his concerns. Ultimately, he chose to speak up, reminding her of the values she once championed: justice, equality, and hope. Inspired by his words, Seven Aratal rallied her remaining forces, delivering a stirring speech that reignited their resolve. Together, they vowed to strike back, targeting Kael'Nor's supply lines and weakening his grip on power. But as they prepared for their final push, ominous signs suggested they weren't the only ones planning an offensive. Unknown forces stirred in the shadows, hinting at a twist neither Ryan nor 7RA Tal anticipated. The stage was set for a climactic showdown atop the obsidian spire. Kael'nor's forces amassed outside the fortress, their numbers bolstered by reinforcements summoned from across Zandalis. Inside, Ryan, 7RA Tal, and their coalition prepared for the fight of their lives, fortifying defenses and strategizing counterattacks. Tension crackled in the air, thick enough to taste. When the battle finally erupted, it was unlike anything Ryan had experienced. Energy weapons clashed with primitive blades, technology meeting tradition in a dazzling display of ingenuity and brutality. Explosions rocked the spire, sending chunks of debris tumbling into the abyss below. Through it all, Ryan fought with unwavering determination, his connection to the heart of Zandalis granting him unprecedented strength. At the height of the conflict, Ryan confronted Kael'nor directly. The general sneered, taunting him with promises of annihilation. But Ryan refused to back down, channeling every ounce of courage and conviction he possessed. Their duel became legendary, a clash of ideologies embodied in physical form. In the end, Ryan emerged victorious, not through brute force but through understanding. He appealed to Kael'nor's humanity or lack thereof, exposing the flaws in his logic and dismantling his resolve. With Kael'nor defeated, the tide turned decisively in their favor. Victory came at a steep price, however, leaving scars that would take generations to heal. As dawn broke over Zandalis, Ryan and 7RA Tal stood side by side, gazing out at a world forever changed. In the aftermath of the war, rebuilding efforts commenced across Zandalis. Cities rose from ashes, bridges spanned divides, and communities began healing. 7RA Tal assumed leadership, guiding her people toward a brighter future rooted in cooperation rather than conquest. Ryan stayed by her side, serving as both advisor and ambassador, bridging the gap between humans and Zandarii. Their relationship evolved naturally, transcending species and circumstance. Though challenges remained, political intrigue, lingering resentment, external threats, they faced them together, united by shared experiences and mutual respect. For Ryan, Zandalis became home, a place where he belonged despite being far from Earth. Yet whispers of unrest persisted, hinting at unseen enemies lurking beyond the stars. While Ryan and 7RA Tal focused on restoring balance, they couldn't ignore the growing sense that their trials were far from over. Somewhere out there, forces gathered, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Years passed and Ryan's legend grew. Tales of his bravery spread throughout Zandalis, inspiring future generations to strive for peace and understanding. Monuments were erected in his honor, commemorating his role in ending the Civil War. Yet Ryan remained humble, deflecting praise and emphasizing the collective effort required to achieve lasting change. 7RA Tal continued her reign, ushering in an era of prosperity marked by technological advancement and cultural exchange. Under her guidance, Zandalis flourished, becoming a beacon of hope in a galaxy often consumed by darkness. Together, she and Ryan worked tirelessly to ensure their hard-won peace endured, navigating diplomatic complexities and fostering alliances with other civilizations. Still, Ryan couldn't shake the feeling that destiny had unfinished business with him. Dreams returned, haunting him with visions of distant worlds and impending conflicts. Each night, he wrestled with the decision to stay or venture forth once more, torn between duty and curiosity. Eventually, Ryan chose to explore the unknown, embarking on a journey to chart uncharted territories. Accompanied by a small crew of trusted companions, he ventured beyond Zandalis, seeking answers to questions that had plagued him since his arrival. Along the way, he encountered wonders and horrors alike, expanding his perspective and deepening his appreciation for the interconnectedness of all beings. Back on Zandalis, 7RA Tal watched his departure with mixed emotions. Pride swelled within her, knowing Ryan's spirit of adventure mirrored her own aspirations for her people. Sadness lingered too, tempered by the knowledge that their paths might cross again someday. Meanwhile, reports surfaced of mysterious phenomena occurring near Xandalis's borders, disturbances suggesting interference from entities beyond comprehension. Whether friend or foe, these newcomers posed a potential threat requiring vigilance and preparation. Decades later, Ryan returned, older but wiser, bearing gifts and knowledge acquired during his travels. Reunited with Seven Aretal, he marveled at how much Xandalis had transformed in his absence. Skyscrapers pierced the heavens, powered by sustainable energy sources. Education thrived, nurturing minds capable of solving problems previously deemed insurmountable. Most importantly, harmony prevailed, proving that cooperation could triumph over division. Together, they reflected on their journey, the highs and lows, victories and defeats. They acknowledged mistakes made along the way, learning valuable lessons about forgiveness and growth. Above all, they celebrated the enduring bond forged through adversity, a testament to the power of unity in the face of overwhelming odds. As twilight descended, casting Xandalis in hues of gold and crimson, Ryan and Seven Aretal stood hand in hand, gazing at the stars. Their legacy stretched far beyond planetary boundaries, touching lives across galaxies. And though uncertainty loomed ahead, they faced it with unwavering optimism, secure in the knowledge that love and resilience could overcome anything. With their story reaching its natural conclusion, Ryan and Seven Aretal embraced new roles as mentors, passing wisdom to younger generations eager to shape the universe's future. Stories of their exploits inspired countless adventurers, diplomats, and innovators, ensuring their impact would resonate indefinitely. Yet even as they settled into quieter lives, echoes of their adventures reverberated through time. Rumors circulated of ancient prophecies fulfilled, of destinies intertwined across dimensions. Some whispered of parallel universes where alternate versions of Ryan and Seven Aretal embarked on different journeys, exploring infinite possibilities. Ultimately, their tale served as a reminder that no matter how vast the cosmos, connections formed through courage, compassion, and collaboration transcended barriers. Whether fighting wars or building bridges, Ryan and Seven Aretal embodied the best qualities of their respective species, proving that unity remained humanity's, and perhaps the universe's, greatest strength. If you enjoyed this epic saga of bravery and sacrifice, hit subscribe for more thrilling stories from across the galaxy. Adventure awaits.